Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Officer 24/7. My name is Niharika Walia Bhatnagar, and I'm with you with the specific area of accounting and financial management for bankers. Everyone, good evening. Just let me know if I'm audible. Let's begin with the session. Today's topic is budget and budgetary control. Let's talk about budget and budgetary control overall, everyone. When we talk about the topic budget and budgetary control, what do you mean by the term budget? Hanji everyone, what do you mean by the term budget? Whether budget relates to the specific area of the money that I need in future. If I need the money in future, that is how we define the specific area. That means future estimation is always there, na? कि पता है, maybe I'll need this much amount of money in future, maybe I'll need this much amount of money in future. When you define that monetary requirement of your future, that is covered here. That is how you define budget. So when we talk about the term budget, budget can be said as something, the money that we might need in future and we are estimating and recording about it. How can we define a budget, everyone? Overall, budget can be said that budget is related to the specific area of, it's a forecast or not. It's actually way more than that. Okay? When we talk about the budget, it is basically different from the forecast. Forecast is approximation ki haan, maybe I'll need this much amount of money, maybe at this much amount of time. When you're trying to talk about these things, that is what we call a budget. So in this case, when we talk about a budget, forecast is like putting an estimation, pata hai, it might rain tomorrow. Budget is based upon the rain tomorrow. I think we'll be meeting at this point of time. That is budget. Okay? Forecasting is just reviewing ki haan, in future this will happen. But this will happen and it will have an impact like this. That is covered in budget only. Na? That clarity comes with budget. That is what I'm trying to say. So when we talk about budget, budget is basically different from forecast. While forecast is an assessment of the probable future events, may or may not happen. The budget is an operating and financial plan. Acha, this might happen. I need this much amount of money. This might not happen. The and there is no need for keeping any money for this. You are having a particular vision about it, na? That is covered in this area. Then everyone. So forecast can be said this way. So when we define the specific area of forecast, forecast implies a degree of flexibility. Budget is basically defined targets. You saw a particular thing happening and definitely can impact you. Done? Now let's talk about it in detail. Let's talk about the MCQs of it, and I'll keep on going with the specific area of the concept with the class itself. Which of the following best describes budgeting? A process of creating a financial plan after the operations, the complete process of designing, implementing, and operating the budgets, or you can say a random estimation of future. Cannot be random. Or a strategy for minimizing the cost without planning. You just cannot reduce the cost without planning. Planning is super important. I planned this might happen. I planned this might not happen. When you have this kind of clarity, that's how you grow further. Na? That budget is basically related to the area of Based upon, see, I know that I need money. Once I know I need money, then how much money is required, what to do with that money is required. That is one part that we'll be looking forward to now. That is something you and I can talk about. Done. So that clarity comes with this part only. So let's move on and talk about the next point. The complete process of designing, implementing, and operating budgets. So in this case, can I say what do you mean by budget? The budget is basically, it's not a financial plan. It is basically how to run your business. You are estimating the amounts in detail, and estimating these amounts are definitely going to give us more clarity rather than not having any clarity. Okay, let's move on. In budgeting, what does the term systematic plan refer to? An arbitrary distribution of resources, a detailed and organized method of utilizing resources, a sporadic approach to financial planning, or an informal discussion about expenses. It just cannot be informal discussion. This part is definitely out. It's an arbitrary distribution. Nahi. We have a fight over it and we were discussing about it. That's not even the right area to say about this. Arbitrary is a very different scenario altogether. A sporadic decision, no, it's not even a sporadic approach. I would say the correct answer is B only. It's a detailed plan and it's an organized plan. It's an organized method. What is the primary objective of budgetary control? To increase the production level, to ensure the resources are used efficiently and effectively, to expand the business, or to decrease the cost of goods sold. What's going to be the answer, everyone? The primary budget is just to ensure that everything is being used properly. Everyone, till the time I don't know whether normally a pack of chips costs me 20 rupees, how can I reduce my consumption over it? In a month, if I get 20 packets, so I'm spending around 400 rupees on only chips. If I'm spending this much amount of money, till the time I don't know the extent of money that I'm spending, how will I find out whether I'm using it properly or not? So you have to ensure that the resources are used effectively and efficiently. Till the time you don't really know about the resources, you cannot expect to be used properly. That's one reality about it. Okay, let's move on to the next question. Zero-based budgeting. We'll talk about this in detail now. What do you mean by the term zero-based budgeting? Everyone? What do you mean by the term zero-based budgeting? It doesn't have a base at all. Good evening. Everybody who's in the class, please like the session, share the session, and also subscribe this channel if you haven't done it yet. We're talking about ZBB, everyone. Zero-based budgeting means there is no previous base. That is what we mean now. Zero base means there is no previous base added to it. No previous base means? What do you mean by previous base, everyone? Matlab, whatever we had in previous years, that is not the one that we're looking forward to. है ना? When we talk about the specific area of zero-based budgeting, that means the previous entire base is something that we cannot consider. That means whatever we used to think in earlier times, that is not working now anymore. Pre-COVID and post-COVID era is very different. In the pre-COVID era, we were all dependent upon online. We were all dependent upon offline methods. Matlab, if I have to go to the market, I was always carrying my wallet with me. Was worried about, array, I'm using the money properly now. Things are being done in a proper way now. All those things were something that we always were worried about. The day COVID came, after COVID, we all started using more of online methods. मतलब GPay phone pay, and then even Amazon. We have started asking Amazon for the basic things that we need, isn't it? The basic grocery can now be bought through Blinkit. Matlab, at 12 a.m. in the morning, we remember ki, oh, I forgot about getting sugar for my place. I think I need sugar. And randomly you can get it. That means these organizations had to build up some really different assumptions, which were definitely not available earlier. That's one particular reality, huh? Isn't it? So how do we cater with this kind of reality? Simple. That is ZBB. Whatever your previous assumptions were, whatever your previous thought processes were, get rid of it and create new. Zero-based budgeting requires managers to justify all budgeted expenditures, justify only the incremental changes in the budget, focus on historical costs, prepare budget from zero base without consideration of the past budgets. See, the previous times were different. Now the times have changed, so we have to accept that part. And that is how this particular thing works. It is called ZBB, given by Peter Payer. When we talk about it, it was first used by US government at one point of time. This was used by James Carter in US in his state. So when we talk about this specific area, they have to look forward towards zero-based budgeting in a very clear manner. Acha, let me show you exactly. Visible now? Okay, now look at this, everyone. What do you mean by zero-based budgeting? There are traditional budgets. Matlab traditional budget is what was the amount that we spent last year? Acha, this much percentage. ठीक है. If we have used this much percentage last year, तो ठीक है ना? We can use a similar percentage this year as well. है ना? 10% increase कर दो. That's all we do. If you really have to do something about it, just increase it by 10%, 15%. There is no chick further. ठीक है जी, done. When we are done with this specific area, we are clear about it. Don't you think so? That traditional was based upon this, that previous assumptions are still going on and we work forward to it. So traditional budgeting is basically refers to generating a budget that uses a previous year budget as the starting point. What is resource allocation, everyone? Zero-based budgeting said, nahi, what I'll do is I'll reevaluate everything. Whatever we were thinking about the previous times, it's all old now. Resource allocation, traditional budget said, nahi, historical spending. We have to base the, we just have to make sure earlier it was 20 rupees, now it must be 25. Nothing else. Huh? The intentions of ZBB is to employ resources efficiently and to reduce costs. That's one part. Time required. Traditional budgets were easy. You look at the previous budget and you look at acha, everyone, copying the homework and just making it different is easy, or starting and doing your homework from scratch is easy. Starting and doing homework from scratch is definitely difficult. That's a painstaking thing. That is what they're saying. In this case, traditional budgeting are easy to create. Effectiveness. Traditional budgets are only as good as the people who created them prior year. The people who created it, they are looking at the previous things that we were done, and maybe at that point of time we were wrong. This can happen, na? Maybe I was wrong at that point of time. So then that can be the point. The effectiveness of a zero-based budgeting is dependent on companies' present senior management. The senior management which is present right now, they will determine, they will go through the specific area of understanding those things. They might be very stressed. Array, this much work is to be done. We need to find out what is happening today. Whatever we knew earlier, just keep it as a scrap and find out what is happening currently today. Matlab entire future thing that we are looking forward to, please do it that way. We are being very futuristic, na? That is what we have, the difference in ZBB and traditional budgeting. Done. Achha, everyone, let me show you our website as well. This is our website, that is www.adda247.com. If you haven't taken up our courses, our revision batches are on. So you should be definitely looking forward to it right away. what you need to do is go through the specific area of www.adda247.com, go on to the area of JIB and CIB, go on to the specific area of JIB May 2024. Look at this. The batches are currently available at a very good discount. What you need to do is go on to the area of JIB Mahapack. Mahapack, who are preparing for the future, I think unke liye to this is very good, because this is what you need to do. Use the code Y541 and get it at 6172. You can get it less than this as well. This would be overall, the current price is 2,995 minus, I'm going for 80% discount. You'll get for 5,999 right now. 5,999 would be the price that you will be getting it at if you are using the code Y541. This is for the Mahapack. For the Mahapack, this is a very good opportunity. And if you're planning to take up our courses, then go through the revision batch. This is our revision batch. Under the revision batch, just click on the area of buy now. Use the code Y541. Matlab, all the subjects are available in terms of the revision batches. You can get an 80% discount at 1826. Matlab 1826 is at 79% discount. If you have downloaded our app first, then you can have it at 1739, 1740 actually, to be very effectively. So 1740 rupees for an entire, the examinations have started. Matlab 8th, from 7th, 8th onwards, you'll having the first exam. 8th is RBWM. So you start from that particular point till the last examination, that is our AFM. So all those examinations altogether for a month, you might be investing around 17,040 rupees. I think that's a very nominal amount in which you can get all the 4 subjects. Along with this, you will also get test series and ebooks. So entire syllabus is being covered in English. Then you're also getting test series. Matlab after the completion of the classes, whenever you get time, go through the test. Whenever you get time, go through the ebooks. So this is going to be really helpful. 1740 is not a very big amount to be spent in terms of your studies if you're planning to give the examination right now. So I think this is the perfect time. If you're planning, then hurry up and take up the courses right away. Done. Chaliye then, let's continue further. Back to the topic. The master budget is the budget for each department, or it is the budget for direct labor only, a comprehensive budget that includes all other budgets, or the budget for administrative expenses. What's the purpose of creating a master budget? Master budget is the master or the father of all budgets. Okay, this is actually called the father of all budgets. And when I say this, father of all budgets means all the budgets are included in it. And that is why it becomes the father of all those budgets. It is a compilation which we talk about all those things which they are there in the organization. They are creating this much amount of thing. Okay. Done, everyone? So in this case, what's going to be the answer? Done. What's going to be the answer? Done. Chaliye then, everyone. When we talk about master budget, it is basically a comprehensive budget which is including all those budgets. This is also known as father of all budgets. Everything is included in it. Look at this. There are different types of budgets. I think this would be visible a little better right now. We are taking long-term budgets, the budgets which are basically for more than 1 year in a business. Then everything becomes long-term, you know. Then we have short-term budgets, the budgets which we can say which budgets are called short-term budgets, which are for less than 1 year. Then comes based on the conditions. Basic budget is basically the budget which is standard. Everyone, breakfast, lunch, dinner, basic. In the breakfast you should be having something light, in the lunch you should be having something heavy, in the dinner you should be having something lightest. You know, that is what we say. So can we say in this case one is basic and one is current? But in the basic budget we write down, and what if the person is currently not fine? Then what will we do? Everyone? Current budget is the current situation. Now, for example, if the person became diabetic at one point of time, whether the person, particular person was not feeling well, he was having something heavy, so he might be, let's say he was having cold and cough. So at that point of time, his diet will change. So basic is one basic thing, and second part is current budget. Current budget matlab the budget which is based upon the current situation. है ना? Then comes master budget, the father of all budgets. And then we have functional budgets. Acha, exclusively the sales budget, exclusively the production budget, exclusively the purchase budget. Those are functional budgets. When we're talking about only those specific things. And then comes flexibility. How do we define flexibility? Fixed and flexible budget. Fixed budget matlab, fixed budget means something, the budget which we are taking up, and we are like कि for 10,000 units what is the amount, and flexible is like acha what if we find it for 10, acha what if we find it for 12, acha what if we find it for 14. These are how we define the flexible budgets, है ना? Done. Everyone, next question. Among the following statements about budgetary control, which one is true? Everyone? Anchi? Among the following, which is true about budgetary control? The question is not only about budgeting, it is actually budget and budgetary control. मतलब they are accepting कि देखिए, the budget has to be created. We need to know what is the futuristic amount, but at the same time, we need to also have one more thing, everyone, that is budgetary control. How am I going to reduce the amount? And can I reduce the amount even or not? That is covered under budget and budgetary control. Budgetary control does not involve comparing actual performance with the budgeted figures. It does not involve. It involves. Budgetary control is a process that ensures that actual activity is conformed to the plan. No, actually this doesn't happen. But let's see. The context is basically budgetary control is like, acha, I told you to sit down now, whether you are sitting or not. That is what we call control. Budgetary control eliminates the need for future planning. No, but this is not true, because even if I don't look into the future, if I don't anticipate that probably enough I'll need 10,000 rupees in the future, how will I keep the money aside? That is future planning. Budgetary control is only applicable to non-profit organizations. It is only to the area of NPOs. No, it is related to the multiple areas. It is something which you will find is related to the not only the NPOs but also to the government even and profit-making organizations. So the correct answer is budgetary control is a process that ensures that actual activities conform to the planned activities. We actually find out the variables. So I think Acha does not, and this is wrong. If they would have written the budgetary control does involve in comparing, then that would have been correct. So in this case, we have to make sure B is the answer. वैसे it just gives you an insight कि पता things aren't going the way you planned it. Among the following statements about the flexible budget, which one is true, everyone? The flexible budget remains unchanged regardless of the changes in the level of activity. The flexible budget adjusts based on changes in the volume of activity. Flexible budget is easier to prepare. or flexible budget is can only be used for fixed cost? Flexible budget is when you are having multiple products. For multiple products, for multiple outputs, we're looking forward to it. So in this case, the right answer is going to be flexible budget adjusts the based on changes in the volume of activity. For 10,000, what's the budget? For 12,000, what's the budget? For 15,000, what's the budget? We're giving and anticipating multiple things now. That is covered under the flexible budget. Done? Got the idea, everyone? Done? Chaliye, let's look at the next question now. A flexible budget requires careful study of the classification of expenses. Does it? Everyone? What does the flexible budget require us to do? I think the flexible budget plays a very important role though. But what does it do exactly? See, flexible and fixed have a difference, a very major difference for sure. The difference is that flexible budget is based upon careful study of the past. No. Flexible budget is a budget which talks about the specific area of past and current expenses. Past and current expenses, or the fixed variable or semi-variable costs, or administrative, selling and factory expenses, or the last one. What's the last one, everyone? The last one is none of the above. Flexible budget is a budget which talks about the fact that the cost varies. It doesn't remain the same. When the cost varies, then in this case it should be written as flexible budget should have fixed, semi-variable and variable expenses. We're gonna not gonna have one particular thing, but we're gonna have multiple things. Taken? That is covered in this area. Done. Chaliye. Next point. Look at the flexible budget. What do you mean by flexible budget? Achha, this is related to the variance overall. This is not something which we'll be doing today, because now when we'll be talking about standard and marginal costing, now at that point of time we'll talk about it in detail. Then comes a responsibility area, which is three broad categories. Which one of the following is not included in it? As such, now the broad categories are having more than three. It can go up to 5 categories. It can be cost expense center, or it can be profit center, investment center, loan center, which is not among the broad the responsibility centers. Everyone, go ahead and answer. Anji, what's gonna be the answer? Cost or expense? Number one, cost is basically cost center, profit center. There is one more thing called loss center. Then we also have something called investment center. After investment center, there is nothing called loan center. Nobody can reduce the loans. You can't anticipate it as well. So can I say let's cancel this out? The correct answer is loan center. Actually, everyone, this is match the following for you. In the examination, you will get at least one or two of these questions as well. Okay, you should always look at the match the following questions very carefully. Okay, I think now the question is visible. Sales budget is given, production budget, production cost, cash and capital expenditure. 5 different budgets are given and they are asking about the description of each of them. Sales budget talks about, they are worried about only one thing, money. What money you are bringing in the organization. That is what this particular area talks about, isn't it? Production capacities, then we have cash inflows. Everyone, where's the sales? Okay, I got a point. Look at this. Is an estimate of total sales expressed both in terms of money and quantity. Isn't this the answer? Indeed it is. Production budget. What do you mean by the term production budget? Production budget means it is to the specific how much of it we have to produce. Now, in this case, production budget can be contains the estimated. Acha, theek hai. One is C. It's all matched now. Production budget and production cost budget. Oh, minute lines between the two. How much production should I do is production. Production quantities. Matlab this is 2. 2 ka to A makes sense. But production cost means in producing something we definitely have certain costs involved in it. Na? How do we record those kind of costs? Everyone? In this case, when we talk about 3 is production budget can be stated as something which talks about the cost based on production, material, labor and overhead. 3E. 4. For cash, what do we have, everyone? Cash inflows, cash outflows. That can be 4D. Contains detailed estimates of cash inflows and cash outflows periodically. Everyone? Done? Everyone? Now in this case, when we talk about capital expenditure decisions, capital expenditures are what? When we talk about the capital expenditure, how much money we are spending in getting an asset. It's capital expenditure. So if nothing is left now, that is 5 now. 5 is definitely C. C. 5C. Acha, what options are available? 1C, 2, 1A, 1E, 1D. In this case, you can actually eliminate for the answers by just taking care of 1. Anchi. Then what becomes the answer? Everyone? The answer is A. 1C, 2A, acha 5B. I think I've written 5C, but I said YB. My bad, everyone. Here comes B and A, B, C, D, E. All done. Wrote the wrong part, but had written the correct. Wrote the wrong part, but said that correctly. Anchi. Done. Which of the following is true about a fixed budget? Acha, fixed budget means the budget which is not changing at all. If we just said ki what is the amount, I think I'll be making 10,000 units. I'll not make more than 10,000 units. When we are talking about just making 10,000 units and not more than that, that is a fixed budget. It adjusts with the actual activity. No, it does not change with the level of activity actually attained. It is typically established for long-term budgets or recognizes different cost behavior patterns. We cannot really study the cost behavior patterns with fixed because you're just looking at one part. If I said that I'll be meeting you at this point of time, and that's it. Sometimes we're not available, sometimes we require some other time. Obviously, if I have to be with you, I will be with you, but maybe I won't be available at this point of time now. I might be stuck somewhere, I might be working on something, might be stressed out with something. So all those things can definitely make a difference. So when we say the term fixed budget, the fixed budget is basically you're just stuck with one thing. It does not change. And this is one of the basic issues. That is why we always opt for flexible budgets a lot. Pata hai? We actually opt for the flexible budgets a lot because you just don't know how much of things we're gonna make. It's just not like that ki, theek hai na, we don't produce things only. We just don't produce things that way. We produce things, but the things are being produced for an estimation. Ki, theek hai na, we might produce 10,000 units, but what if we make good money in the market? Then, if we're making good money in the market, then we should definitely increase it further. You know? So let's understand this topic from the point of view of fixed and flexible budget. Look at this. Just a few parts of it I've taken. If the level of activity changes in budget and actual results cannot be compared. Big deal. You have said 10,000. Now it's different from 10,000. You have to sit back and just relax. This budget was a waste. For then, flexible budget, you have 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. You can redraft your budget. Okay, na? And then comes forecasting. Budgeting, fixed budget is basically something you just cannot forecast. Flexible, you understand that part. That is why you make different situations. A single budget is created in this case. You create multiple at multiple levels. It has a limited use. It always has. And this one doesn't have a limited use. Now comes the topic of flexible budget, everyone. Acha, I hope this was visible. Na? It was on the slide part, so I couldn't read it for you. I didn't see that what was something as a view to you. Everyone? Good evening, Sandhya ma'am. Just saw your message. Everyone, please keep on messaging. I can see your messages in the live chat. Everyone who's joining in, jaldi. And take up the revision courses if you are not able to study yet. Because at least you will be able to do something through the revision batches, na? That particular benefit is available in the revision batches. Next point, flexible budget. When we talk about the flexi budget, flexi means remains constant. It doesn't remain constant. It keeps on changing. That is one particular part which is designed for to provide budgeted cost for any level of activity. Yes, we understand there are different scales of operations and we work and accept it accordingly. So in this case, the correct answer comes out to be it is designed to provide the budgeted cost of for any level of activity. Right now we are done with almost all the topics starting from ZBB, types of budgets, and even the further details. So there's nothing which is left in this case. We're done with the entire topic altogether. Everyone, acha, this is something that we have already done, but the question is just here right now. Everyone, what do you mean by the basic budgets? But that the basic budgets are those budgets which are standardized. You remember I told you about the breakfast, lunch, dinner. They are designed to change frequently to reflect current situations. Basic, everyone. We're not putting something into it. Good evening, Bari sir. Good evening. Then comes they are prepared for over a long-term basis. They are less useful. They are more useful because we are just having a base over it. Then they are typically used for short-term planning. They are basically correct, Bari sir. In this case, what the correct answer is that they are prepared for a long period. A base is being created. You just have to change over the period of time. That is what we consider in this particular area. What is the flexible budget, everyone? Flexible budget remains flexible throughout the budget. It does not distinguish between flexible and variable cost. It is prepared to change as the volume of outputs. It is less useful for business. No, it is more useful for the business. So in this case, what is the basic characteristic? In this area, what we accept is that it is prepared to change as the volume of output changes. Okay, different outputs are available. Let's make the changes. That is what they cover. Done. चलिए जी. Which of the following is the best describes the main difference between basic budget and the current budget? Basic budget remains stagnant while the current budget is based upon the current situations, whatever is happening right now. So basic budget considers what? Basic considers a specific area of the conditions which are related to the overall base is created, but the A, B, C is there, and then we try to increase or decrease some things. So I think the correct answer, sir. The correct answer is Cynthia ma'am also correct. This is C. That is, basic budgets are for use for a longer period. That is for without change, while current budgets are taken into account. Current considerations. The answer is C. Next question. Which of the following statement best describes budgetary control, everyone? It is the process of preparing budgets without any comparison. Then it involves establishing budgets, comparing actual and taking corrective action. It only focuses on approval, or it is settling for targets without any subsequent review. How can we just settle for a specific target if it is not reachable and I don't feel that it is going correct? If it is not going correct, and then I should just stop there. There must be some issue that I'm creating, right? So when we talk about budgetary control, can we say that we are having a particular situation where it involves the budgets, it involves comparisons, and it involves taking corrective action? Just not knowing will be enough. We are running away from the budget, but we have to take up the responsibility of the same as well. We haven't done the particular work, so maybe it makes a difference. And it does. Because when you don't go as per plan, then things become a little confusing altogether. Done? Okay, everyone. Next question for you. According to Institute of the Management, Cost and Management Accounting, they're talking about the budgetary control includes all of the following: preparation and approval of the budget, taking consideration, taking corrective action on the performance, comparing with budgeted and performance actual and budget, and last is ignoring deviations. What do we do, everyone? In this case, we're gonna ignore deviations. This is just not true. You just can't ignore the deviations. Try to do that. Everyone, I know there's something in front of me and I might fall because of that. So I have to move aside now. By the time I don't move aside, how will things work out? So in this case, except word is given now. Done. Ignoring the deviations. Which of the following is best describes the purpose? What's the purpose of having the particular budgetary control? To restrict the specific freedom? You just can't restrict the freedom of everyone. To infuse the dynamism by providing directions and aims. To ensure budget are only theoretical and not applicable on practices, or to prevent the creation of budgets altogether. Everyone, what's going to be the answer according to you? Everyone, it was to infuse the dynamism. When you're trying to infuse the dynamism, that is where you are looking forward to what's the purpose of budgetary control. So in this case, what's gonna be the answer? The answer is B. Which of the following is an advantage of budgetary control, everyone? It decreases the probability of achieving planned objectives, and it leads the suboptimal use of limited resources. It enhances the probability of achieving the planned, or it discourages the proactive thinking. Now, what is the advantage of budgetary control system? Budgetary control system means a system which is related to the specific area of understanding that we have to control whatever we are doing. It enhances the probability of happening the things. And we just cannot go with the not happening. Maybe it will not happen. It will not happen. So we try to control things. Chaliye, that's it for the day, everyone. If you haven't seen our revision batch yet, hurry up and get this revision batch because it costs hardly 1826 right now. All you need to do is go ahead and use the code Y541, get 80% discount by downloading the app, and you get all the 4 subjects of JIB and get it for a validity of 3 months. That means you just have to invest the main 1 month now. Right now, even you have time. If you are attending the classes properly, at least you can increase your chances. You can clear at least 1 or 2 examinations if you're giving for the first time and couldn't plan at all. Now, if you have planned a bit, then you have a better situation. You have already gone through the syllabus one, so you can definitely hold yourself and get ready and get into the classes. So go ahead and just get it by using the code Y541 right away, everyone. All the very best. The last month is here for the examination for JIB. So go ahead and give your best shot. Thank you so much for being there. I'll be meeting you in the next session. All the very best. Bye bye. And tomorrow we'll be meeting at 7:30 for a special session. Be there.